Holy War, Popes Gone Wild, the secret battles and scandals that rocked the Vatican. Ever wondered what really goes on behind the Vatican's towering walls? Forget the halos and hymns, because we're diving deep into the scandalous secrets, power struggles, and outright battles that have stained the history of the papacy. Get ready to question everything you thought you knew about the men who claim to speak for God. The papacy stands as a symbol of unwavering faith for over 1 billion Catholics worldwide. It represents divine authority, spiritual guidance, and the unbroken lineage back to St. Peter. But behind the gilded robes and sacred rituals lies a hidden history. This history is filled with power struggles, scandalous behavior, and even outright warfare. We're not just talking about theological debates, we're talking about popes behaving badly. This is a story of men grappling with earthly temptations while simultaneously claiming to hold the keys to heaven. Our focus isn't to condemn, but to understand. We'll explore how these figures navigated the treacherous waters of faith, power, and politics. Prepare to be shocked, intrigued, and perhaps even a little disillusioned as we uncover the secret battles and scandals that rocked the Vatican. The early popes faced a vastly different world than their successors. Figures like St. Peter, St. Linus, and St. Clement laid the foundation of the Church. They did so amidst relentless persecution from the Roman Empire. Their primary role was to establish the core doctrines and practices of Christianity. They provided leadership and guidance to a fledgling community facing constant threat. These were times of immense faith and sacrifice. These early leaders were often martyred for their beliefs. Their dedication and unwavering commitment to Christ cemented the papacy's spiritual authority. They set the stage for the institution that would eventually wield immense power. As the Church gained influence, powerful families began vying for control of the papacy. This led to an era of intense corruption and political maneuvering. The spiritual mission of the Church was often overshadowed by worldly ambitions. The pursuit of power became a driving force within the Vatican. Simony, the buying and selling of church offices, became rampant. Nepotism, favoring relatives, was commonplace. One of the most notorious examples of this corruption is Pope John the Freyton. His reign was marked by debauchery and political intrigue. He brought shame upon the papacy. John the Fame's scandalous acts are legendary. He was known for gambling, turning the Vatican into a brothel, and using church funds for personal pleasure. His behavior was an open secret in Rome. His reign came to an abrupt end when he reportedly suffered a stroke during an adulterous act. This scandalous death perfectly encapsulates the corruption of the era. John the Satan's papacy remains a dark chapter in church history. The Great Western Schism plunged Christendom into chaos. The church fractured, with rival popes in Rome and Avignon. Each claimed to be the legitimate successor of St. Peter. This division stemmed from political tensions and disagreements over papal authority. European powers aligned themselves with different popes. This further deepened the schism. Key figures in this conflict included Urban VI in Rome, Clement VII in Avignon, and later Benedict XIII. Each pope excommunicated the others. This created a confusing and divisive situation for the faithful. The excommunications had little practical effect, but they symbolized the deep rift within the Church. The faithful were left wondering who to believe. The schism undermined the papacy's authority. The Council of Constance eventually resolved the schism in 1417. It deposed the rival popes and elected Martin V as the sole pope. However, the damage was already done. The papacy's authority was significantly weakened by the schism. It exposed the political machinations and human failings within the Church. The seeds of the Reformation were sown during this period. The Renaissance brought a new breed of pope to power. These figures were patrons of the arts, builders of empires, and skilled politicians. They often prioritized worldly power over spiritual matters. Alexander VI, Rodrigo Borgia, is a prime example of this Renaissance papacy. He was a master of intrigue and nepotism. He used the papacy to advance his family's power and influence. Borgia's actions were often ruthless and morally questionable. He forged alliances, manipulated elections, and eliminated his enemies. His papacy was marked by scandal and controversy. Scandals surrounded his children, Lucrezia and Cesare Borgia. Allegations of incest, murder, and political manipulation plagued the Borgia family. Whispers of poison and conspiracy filled the Vatican. Julius II, the warrior pope, was another notable figure of the Renaissance. He led armies into battle to expand the Papal States. He was a patron of the arts, commissioning Michelangelo to paint the Sistine Chapel. Julius II's papacy was a blend of spiritual authority and military might. He embodied the Renaissance ideal of the powerful and cultured ruler. His actions, however, often contradicted the teachings of Christ. Modern times have brought increased scrutiny and new challenges to the papacy. Popes have had to navigate complex political landscapes and address pressing social issues. The Church has faced internal crises and external criticism. Pius XII's actions during World War II remain a subject of debate. He has been praised for his efforts to save Jewish lives. He has also been criticized for his perceived silence on the Holocaust. John Paul II modernized the papacy. He traveled the world, inspiring millions with his message of hope and faith. However, his papacy was also marked by the Church's handling of the sexual abuse crisis. Benedict XVI resigned from the papacy due to failing health. This was a rare and significant event in Church history. It highlighted the human limitations of even the highest office. Pope Francis is now navigating modern challenges. He is advocating for social justice, economic equality, and environmental protection. He is also attempting to reform the Church's bureaucracy and address the ongoing sexual abuse crisis. The story of the popes is a complex tapestry woven with threads of faith, power, and human fallibility. It reminds us that even those in positions of authority are not immune to temptation and error. The history of the papacy offers valuable lessons. It underscores the importance of holding leaders accountable for their actions. It encourages us to question authority and strive for transparency. The Church's struggles highlight the need for constant self-reflection and reform. We must learn from the past to build a better future. Power should be used for good, and the voices of the marginalized should be heard. Let us aspire to create a more just and equitable world. Now that you've journeyed through the scandalous history of the papacy, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you delve deeper into specific papal reigns? Will you research the impact of these scandals on the Church's credibility? Don't just passively absorb this information. Engage with it. Share this video with your friends and family. Start a discussion about the complexities of faith, power, and human nature. Leave a comment below sharing your thoughts on the most shocking revelation from this video. Subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into history's most controversial topics. Click the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Let's continue to learn from the past and build a more informed future together.